Rumpole.
The splendours and miseries of an Old Bailey hack.
Some cases of Horace Rumpole, barrister at law, as told to and written down by John Mortimer, with Maurice Denham as Rumpole and Margot Boyd as Hilda. Rumpole and the Confession of Guilt.
I, Horace Rumpole, barrister at law, 68 next birthday, Old Bailey hack, husband to Mrs. Hilda Rumpole, known to me only as she who must be obeyed, and father to Nicholas Rumpole, lecturer in social studies at the University of Baltimore. I've always been extremely proud of Nick. I, who have a mind full of old murders, legal anecdotes, and memorable fragments of the Oxford Book of English Verse, Sir Arthur Quiller-Cucci's edition, together with a dependable knowledge of bloodstains, blood groups, fingerprints, and forgery by typewriter, I, who am now the oldest member of my chambers, take up my pen at this advanced age during a lull in business. There's not much crime about. All the best villains seem to be off on holiday in the Costa Brava. In order to write my reconstructions of some of my recent triumphs, including a number of recent disasters, in the courts of law, hoping thereby to turn a bob or two which won't be immediately grabbed by the taxman, or my Clark Henry, or she who must be obeyed, and perhaps give some sort of entertainment to those who, like myself, have found in British justice a lifelong subject of harmless fun.
Oh, Rumpole, I wish you'd stop doing your legal work at breakfast. You're getting butter all over that green.
Oh, thank you, my precious.
You must picture me a good few years ago now with she who must be obeyed in our matrimonial home at Flat 13, Froxbury Mansions, Gloucester Road. A mansion flat is a misleading description of that cavernous and underheated area which Hilda devotes so much of her energy to keeping shipshape, not to say Bristol fashion. We were having breakfast, and between bites of toast I was reading my brief for the day. The case of a young Jamaican boy improbably named Oswald Gladstone. Sadly, I quoted Wordsworth, as I often do at breakfast. There was a boy. You knew him well, ye cliffs and islands of Winanda. Many a time, that evening when the earliest stars began, would he stand alone. More toast, please, Hilda.
Oh, really?
Beneath the trees or by the glimmering lake.
Rumpole, about your son.
My client today is a boy, engaged on rather less innocent pursuits. A brilliant client. I mean, he only takes an antique dagger and stabs a young man in a bascule outside Lord's cricket ground at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, I mean, if you had to do that sort of thing, at least do it during the hours of darkness, and if possible, not at Lord's.
Rumpole, I'm trying to have a serious conversation.
Well, I think the fellow who got stabbed took it seriously. He was a total stranger, of course. Just someone my juvenile client felt like stabbing. Absolutely brilliant.
When are you going to say goodbye to your son, Nick, before he goes away to the other side of the world?
Look, I'm meeting Nick at 12 in the Army and Navy stores. I'll buy him a topcoat for America. And then we'll have a good lunch. Steak and kidney pudding, I imagine, something of that nature. And then I've got to get back for a 4:30 conference. So you give him tea and then he's off to the airport.
12 o'clock? How can you meet Nick at 12 o'clock? You'll be in the Old Bailey.
No, my case will be over in half an hour. Just a shorty. The old darling will have to plead guilty. He signed a full confession of guilt. To Detective Inspector Arthur, most reliable officer, Groves Prize chrysanthemums.
I don't know why you have to go down to the Old Bailey at all on Nick's last day.
Well, they say crime doesn't pay, but it's a living, you know. I mean, that nice breakfast egg of yours, probably a tiny part of the proceeds of an unlawful carnal knowledge.
You're an Old Bailey hack, that's what you are. I heard you're head of chambers, Guthrie Featherstone.
QCMP.
Say that at the garden party. Dear old Rumpole, he said, is a bit of an Old Bailey hack.
The Old Bailey. I walked down past Ludgate Circus from my chambers, and there it was, touched by a hint of autumn sunshine. A stately law court, an Edwardian palais de justice, with an extensive modern extension to deal with the increase in human fallibility. Terrible things go on in the Old Bailey, horrifying things. Why is it I never go in at the revolving door without a thrill of pleasure? Why does it seem a much jollier place than my flat in Gloucester Road under the strict rule of she who must be obeyed?
Morning, Rumpole.
Good morning.
Are you against me in the attempted murder?
I had changed into the fancy dress, gown a little tattered, old wig bought second-hand from the ex-Attorney General of Fiji pre-war, and outside the court I found my prosecutor. I planned to beguile him into accepting a plea to actual bodily harm, so allowing young Gladstone to cop a suspended sentence. And Rumpole to buy his son a decent blowout at Simpson's.
You for the black teenager, Rumpole?
Yes.
A nervous barrister called Magnus Pycam, pockets stuffed with various coloured pencils for taking notes. Always looks to see if his zip's done up when he gets up in court. Matter of fact, he gave me no trouble at all.
I suppose you wouldn't be prepared to plead to actual bodily harm, would you, Rumpole? The minor offence.
Oh, ABH, the minor offence. I did my best to sound doubtful, thinking, of course, that Gladstone would jump at the chance.
I'll go and see if I can get my client to accept your excellent and time-saving suggestion. Is Mr. Gladstone at home?
I don't think he's gone out to lunch with the Lord Mayor. Counsel, to see the Piccaninny.
You know what life at the Old Bailey blunts, Mr. Winter. It blunts the sensitivity.
Indeed.
Mr. Winter, instructing solicitor, small, Welsh and passionate, dedicated to the belief that all Jamaican immigrants must be telling the truth, and all policemen are creative liars.
This is Mr. Rumpole, Oswald. He'll be defending you. Up in number 1 court, aren't we?
Oh, yes, Mr. Gladstone. At the age of 16, you've got star-billing.
I told the cops Ginger did it. I saw him with the cutter. He threw it away after. Oh, Ginger's one of the white boys, Mr. Rumpole. He got away.
But just a moment, Mr. Gladstone, old darling. Let me just remind you of what you did say to the police in your signed and written statement. Mr. Winter, got a copy of the confession there, have you?
Yes, sir.
A confession of guilt that made our case impossible even for Rumpole.
Now, my name is Oswald Montgomery, Gladstone. But in our gang they call me Blades. Is that what they call me?
Blades, that's right. That's me name. What's the other feathers like?
I know you found the dagger, so I better come clean, Governor. Anyway, if you nabs Ginger, he'll grass on me. We was mad at the MCC supporters what annoyed us, so when I left the ground I had my knife ready. But when the MCC blokes all scarpered, because I had the weapon, I felt a bit of a fool not using it. And there was this bloke standing, so I just let him have it in the Auntie Nellie. I'm very sorry for all the trouble I caused. Signed, O. Gladstone, witness Detective Inspector Arthur and Detective Sergeant Shaw.
I told him Ginger done all that.
Did you read it when you were in the police station?
Of course I did.
But why did you sign it if it wasn't true?
I got bored. They were going on so long. Have you ever been questioning the Nick?
Not as far as I remember.
Well, it gets boring. You do anything just to get it over with.
To get back to reading a comic in the cell.
Yeah, reading. That's it. I was doing reading. If I signed that, they promised me a smoke.
Didn't it strike you as a rather expensive smoke? Look, Mr. Gladstone, we've drawn a nervous prosecutor called Magnus Pycam. I'd scared him into taking a plea to actual bodily harm. Now, you'll have to plead guilty to that. It's just the minor offence.
You mean I don't have a chance?
As much chance as I have of spending the evening of my days in the south of France. No chance, no.
You got another case you want to do? You want to go and work for some of them rich villains? What's the matter with my case? Is it too much like hard work, eh?
Oswald, you...
All right, I'll plead guilty then. If that's what you want, I'll plead bloody guilty. My mum, she wants me put away. All right, I'll plead guilty to something I didn't do.
Are you telling me you didn't stab anyone?
Look, Dad, I didn't have the knife.
Are you telling me that?
You don't believe me?
Look, what I believe isn't of the slightest importance. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you, right?
Right, then we've got to fight.
Mr. Rumpole, do you want to ask Inspector Arthur any questions?
I remember what I knew of Mr. Justice Everglades, known to his few friends as Florrie. His grandfather was Lord Chancellor, he was educated at Winchester New College, and he always cracked the Times crossword in the opening of an egg. I wondered what he would make of Oswald Gladstone.
Mr. Rumpole.
Oh, just a few, my lord. Mr. Arthur, you would agree the only real evidence against my client is this statement he has alleged to have signed at the police station?
Isn't that evidence real enough for you, Mr. Rumpole?
We shall see, shan't we, my lord? Have you the alleged statement there, Detective Inspector?
Yes, I have.
Did you read that document through to Mr. Gladstone, my client, before he signed it?
As I remember, he read it himself.
You're sure of that?
Yes, quite sure. As a matter of fact, he read it aloud to me.
He read it all through out loud?
Yes, he did, my lord.
And you didn't read it back to him?
No, I don't believe so.
You swear you did not?
I swear I didn't read it to him. Mr. Gladstone read it to himself.
And this is a statement alleged to have been made by a teenager in the year 1974.
It was made by your client.
Every word here.
Every word.
Oh, dear me, Inspector, don't you think you ought to brush up your Jamaican?
I don't know what you mean, sir.
Neither do I, Mr. Rumpole.
Just that you've composed this piece of sparkling prose in the dead language of dear old Edgar Wallace.
Mr. Rumpole, are you suggesting that your client's statement was composed by this officer?
I am simply suggesting, my lord, that the whole shooting match comes out of the old police book of verbals. No self-respecting young criminal talks like that nowadays, does he? It was then that my son Nick walked into court, as he'd done in his school days to listen to my old murders. Although this was only an attempt, I was determined to put on a good show for Nick.
I phoned your chambers when you didn't turn up.
Oh, I'm sorry we got involved in the trial. My lad wouldn't put his hands up. Now, come and sit behind me, Nick. The bull will win. Of course,
Mr. Rumpole, if we could have a few moments of your attention.
Oh, my lord, by all means.
You were suggesting to the detective inspector that this statement was not couched in the language of a self-respecting young criminal.
Of course it isn't. It's the language of a middle-aged detective inspector.
Mr. Rumpole, the jury may not be as expert as you are on the way self-respecting criminals talk.
Well, then let me demonstrate, my lord. Let's read it together, Detective Inspector.
Oh, very well, sir.
I know you found the dagger, so I better come clean, Governor. You left something out, didn't you? What about It's a Fair Cop? And you got me banged to rights.
Mr. Rumpole, is this cross-examination meant to be taken seriously?
Well, only if this bit of paper is meant to be taken seriously, my lord. If you nab Ginger, he'll grass on me. Do you know, Inspector, had Mr. Gladstone been going to evening classes in old-time Cockney? Had he written the thesis on the argot of the Artful Dodger?
Not that I know of.
Mr. Rumpole.
Or did these quaint phrases drift up from your memories of happier times when all confession statements taken by the police started, It's a fair cop, just as a formality?
Mr. Rumpole, I sincerely hope there'll be some evidence to support this attack on the officer's integrity.
At the moment, my lord, I'm simply attacking his prose style.
You're suggesting this officer is lying?
Oh, my lord, certainly. No doubt the same suggestion will be made to my client.
Mr. Rumpole, you've had some experience in these courts.
Aye, a little, my lord, just a little.
Over a long period of years?
You might say, my lord, from time immemorial.
And you know very well the limits to which defending counsel may go.
I've often been reminded of them, my lord.
I imagine you have. If the cross-examination we have just heard is typical of you, Mr. Rumpole, I imagine you've had to be reminded often. One does not expect to have to repeat such reminders to counsel of your advanced age and seniority.
Yes, my lord?
Have you any other questions to ask this officer?
Oh, a great many. I was anxious not to interrupt the flow of your lordship's rebuke. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Arthur? This is really a golden oldie of the confession statement.
The jury may have some idea what the question means. I have none.
What's the answer, Inspector?
The answer is no.
No. Members of the jury, this case is obviously going to detain us a considerable time. We have yet to learn the nature of the defense. Yes, 2:10, please.
Nick, dear old boy, I'm sorry it's all such a rush. I'd meant to buy you steak and get me pulled in Simpsons, not a cheese sandwich in the pub opposite the Bailey.
No, that's all right, Dad.
My lunatic client refused to plead guilty, upset all our plans. Oh, this isn't any good even as a cheese sandwich. What time's the playing, Nick?
Oh, 8 o'clock. It's one of those charter things.
And you're having tea with your mother?
She wants me to.
Well, then don't try and cut it, eh? Watch out for she who must be obeyed.
I want to see her anyway.
You, got plenty of money, would you? Care for a few quid?
I've got enough. I worked all last August.
No, yes, of course. It was dirty sort of work, wouldn't it? I take my hat off to you. I could never dig up the underground.
I don't think I could do your job either.
Oh, come on, Nick. The Old Bailey's not so bad. You can have quite a lot of good, clean fun down in the Bailey.
Is that what you were having this morning?
Oh, I forgot. Do you smoke small cigars?
No.
No, of course not. Filthy habit.
But were you having fun?
Well, yes, perhaps I was. In my own quiet way.
That judge?
Oh, that judge was defending bad cases of non-renewed dog licenses when I was doing the Penge bungalow murders. Alone and without a leader.
Yes. I don't know how you could go on when he said...
Well, I told you how. You smile, the sweet smile of Chinese inscrutability, and say, if your lordship pleases. You take the rough with the smooth.
I suppose he thought you were wasting time.
Time? How long should it take to rob a boy's life for 5 years? I'm sorry, Nick. I hoped it might be a shorty.
I'm pretending.
Pretending what, Nick?
Pretending your mug is innocent. Judges must get sick and tired of all these phony defences, looking at the policeman's notebook and all that sort of nonsense, when surely everyone knows.
What? What do they know?
Well, he actually admitted...
Or so they say. No one knows anything until it's proved, and even then you may have a nagging doubt.
Members of the jury, while there remains a particle of doubt... I remember you practicing that speech in front of the bathroom mirror where I put my rubber duck's head under the water so he wouldn't be embarrassed. Well, that's your stock in trade, isn't it? Doubt.
Well, it's better than being a cleric dealing in improbable beliefs. Oh, Nick, I'm sorry I'm so busy.
Oh, I didn't mind. Not till I saw what you were busy at.
Do you find it so disreputable?
Well, if that boy's guilty, which he obviously is...
Well, they're all guilty of something, my dear old thing. Everyone's guilty of something. If anyone gets off, it's a plus.
Plus for who?
Oh, it's a strange quality of human nature, Nick. People show an almost comic relief at not being locked up. They actually enjoy not having to share one chamber pot through endless nights, banged up with two vindictive, frightened, and sexually frustrated strangers. You find that so very odd?
What about society? I mean, all that getting people off, is it much good to society at large?
Well, society can open a door at night and go to the lavatory.
Well, shouldn't you see it's protected occasionally?
Just at the moment, I've got my hands full protecting young Ozzie Gladstone.
By telling lies?
By telling his story for him as well as I can. What do you think I am, Nick? I'm nothing but a ventriloquist doll perched on Mr. Gladstone's knee.
You think that's a very dignified position?
Oh, Nick, you can't be born or die in a dignified position. How the hell can you live in one, my old darling? You know about that boy. His mother had him put into care when he was 4. Sent him away from home, I mean.
Today, when I saw you standing there saying things you really didn't...
Look, that's not what
I suddenly knew
doing.
why. Well, you've never said much you've meant to me, have you?
Nick.
Well, I think that's what Mother finds difficult. She's not very happy, actually.
She finds difficult. And what does the leader of the opposition find difficult exactly?
Knowing who you are, exactly. She says you're always arguing, but she doesn't know if it's an argument or just a game. Like the game you were playing this morning. She says you seem to hate her sometimes, really hate her, but she can't tell if you mean it. In a way, she says she'd rather you did than pretended to.
But I say wonderful things to her. Very often, wonderful complimentary things.
Of course, she doesn't believe those either.
She He's not very happy. She's not. What do you think I feel, Nick? What do you think?
Mr. Rumpole!
Oh, it's you. You know Nick, Mr. Winter. Nick. No, my boy Nick.
Yes, hello, we met in the
Mr. Rumpole, I got a message from the prison officer. Gladstone wants to see us at once.
But Nick's off to America this evening.
I'm sorry, it sounded urgent.
Oh, my master's voice. Well, have a good trip then, Nick. I mean, it's not forever, is it? You'll be back soon, I'm sure, on holidays.
I expect so.
Sorry about the lunch being so scrappy.
Oh, that's all right.
Damn it, we haven't had a talk yet.
No, we haven't.
Now, Mr. Gladstone.
That judge, man, he don't like you.
Huh? Poor old darling, I'm not absolutely crazy about him.
It's the jury that matters, Oswald. Mr. Rumpole's getting through to the jury.
From what I've seen, that judge is really getting angry with you, man.
Well, it's part of the wear and tear.
So now I've seen that, I've decided to plead guilty.
Huh?
But Mr. Rumpole explained. If you tell us you didn't do it...
I tell you now, I don't want this thing
But
going
if you
on.
didn't...
Look, I made that statement, didn't I? That judge is getting really angry.
Because what I told you, it's the jury.
Oh, it's gone all against us
If
now.
you ask me, and I know, I've seen them all at work, and Mr. Rumpole's cross-examination was brilliant. I mean, he had DIR right on the ropes.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I know you've tried real hard.
Thank you.
Just wasn't working for you, was it? So I'm pleading guilty.
Well, if you're quite sure, we'd better take written instructions to plead guilty.
Cheer up the old judge anyway.
Well, I think you're doing the wrong thing, Oswald. I think it's a tragedy. I mean, give Mr. Rumpole another half hour with that inspector, and it'll come out what he is. A nigger hater.
He didn't call me no nigger. He never called me that.
Well, if you think you know what you're doing...
What you got there, Mr. Rumpole?
No written instructions for you to sign. You can sign that, can't you?
Yes. Yes, I can write my name.
Oh, read it. Read it through first. Just read it through before you sign it.
Okay, I read it.
Are you sure?
Okay.
Why don't you read it out loud? Now, come on, old dear, just so we're sure you've got it perfectly clear. Out loud, like you did down at the Nick. You can't read, can you, Oswald?
Why didn't you tell us?
So what do you want me to do?
I think I want you to fight.
Be upstanding in court. Yes, Mr. Rumpole.
Detective Inspector Arthur. You remember saying before we adjourned for luncheon, you didn't read out his alleged statement to my class.
Yes, sir.
But the reverse was the case, and he read his statement out to you.
That's perfectly true.
Would it interest you to know, Inspector, that Oswald Gladstone can neither read nor write?
What, Mr.
Oh, he could scrawl his signature, just. But the whole realm of poetry is a closed book to him. Wordsworth is silent, Dickens and Thackeray might not have existed. He can't even look up and tell what street he's in, or follow the simplest directions for assembling a model aeroplane.
Well, he either can read or he can't. Which is it?
He can't. Can he, Inspector?
Perhaps not, but, I must have read it to him.
Do you accept, Inspector, that this young man could not read?
If counsel says so, I must accept that, my lord.
So it follows from that you never put his reading to the test?
It must do.
And your evidence this morning was quite misleading?
Yes, but...
No buts, Inspector. It was either true or false. Which?
It was incorrect.
I looked round in triumph. But Nick had gone. No, he had a plane to catch, a new life to go to. And I was just up to my old tricks, springing a boy from the cells under the Old Bailey.
Verdict, not guilty. Poor Detective Inspector. He probably went home and kicked the chrysanthemums.
So you saw Nick there?
Of course, Oswald Gladstone might well have been guilty. No doubt Inspector Arthur thought so. He just couldn't resist over-egging the pudding.
So you saw your son?
Yes, I saw him. Well, we had a scrap lunch, but very pleasant indeed.
He said you had a sandwich in the pub.
Well, another drop of Chateau Fleet Street, Hilda.
No, thank you.
You know how it is in the Bailey. It's difficult to make plans.
Nick said he talked to you about your work. Seemed to think it was a little off-colour somehow.
Did he? Did he give you that impression?
I must say I wasn't having that from Nick. Your father, I told him, is a member of an honourable profession. Besides which, think of all he's done for you. Wagoners, Oxford, and a lot of help going to America.
All paid for from the proceeds of crime.
I certainly did not say that. I said, Nicholas, you should respect your father. That's what I said.
Thank you.
Well, so you should.
Nick thinks we ask all the wrong questions, just so we can get the wrong answers. That's what he thinks.
He really upset me talking like that.
It's perfectly right, of course.
Oh, Rumpole.
I mean, why? That's what we ought to be asking about Mr. Oswald Gladstone. Why did that happen outside Lord's cricket ground for no reason whatsoever? I mean, God knows I believe in freedom, but surely Jean-Jacques Rousseau. I'd like to ask him a few pertinent questions.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. So far as I'm concerned, you belong to an honourable profession, and you do it very well. I heard that at the garden party. Rumpole, Guthrie Featherstone QC said, is as stubborn as a mule in cross-examination. Perhaps I will have a drop. Only a drop.
You know what else Nick said?
As far as I can understand, Nick talked a lot of nonsense.
He said you didn't know exactly who I am. Well, you do know that, don't you?
Well, of course I do. You're Rumpole, aren't you?
Yes, Horace Rumpole. What was Nick talking about? Everyone knows me down the Bailey, an amiable eccentric who drops ash down his waistcoat and tells the time of the gold hunter, calls them all old sweetheart. Also, I recite Wordsworth. Oh, that's who I am. Isn't it?
That was Maurice Denham as Rumpole, Margot Boyd as Hilda, and Michael Maloney as Nick in The Confession of Guilt. Mr. Justice Everglade was played by Godfrey Kenton, Magnus Pycan, John Church, Mr. Winter, Anthony Hall, Detective Inspector Arthur, John Hollis, and Oswald Gladstone, Kelvin Omar. Rumpole and The Confession of Guilt was written by John Mortimer and directed by Ian Cottrell.
Rumpole!
The splendours and miseries of an Old Bailey hack.
Some cases of Horace Rumpole, barrister at law, as told to and written down by John Mortimer, with Maurice Denham as Rumpole and Margot Boyd as Hilda. Rumpole and the Dear Departed.
Let's talk of graves, of worms and epitaphs, make dust our paper, and with rainy eyes write sorrow on the bosom of the earth. Let's choose executors and talk of wills, and yet not so, for what can we bequeath save our deposed bodies to the ground? Yes, let's choose executors and talk of wills, and yet not so, for besides having nothing to bequeath, Rumpole knows almost nothing about the law of probate. As I told Miss Beasley, the heavyweight, grey-haired matron of a nursing home on the peaceful Sussex coast, when she came to consult me about the testamentary affairs of the late Colonel Ollard. I know very little indeed on the subject of wills.
Never you mind, Mr. Rumpole. The late Colonel wanted you to act in this case most particularly. He has mentioned your name, sir, on several occasions.
Oh, really? Yeah, but, Miss Beasley, dear lady, the late Colonel Bollard...
Colonel Ollard, Mr. Rumpole, MC, DSO, and CBE. Late of the Pines, Balaclava Road, Cheveling-on-Sea, and my nursing home. The dear departed. He has come through with your name perfectly clearly, and on several occasions.
Come through with it, Miss Beasley.
That is what I said, Mr. Rumpole.
We should be alleging fraud against the other side, Mr. Rumpole.
The person who'd spoken was Mr. Pontefract, an elderly type of solicitor with a dusty black jacket and a high stiff collar. He was someone I felt sure who knew all about wills, not to mention graves and worms and epitaphs. Fraud? Ah, now there is a subject I know something about. And we are alleging fraud against...
Mr. Percival Ollard, Mrs. Percival Ollard.
That Marcia, she didn't give a toss for the Colonel.
And young Peter Ollard, their son, aged 13 years, represented by his parents as guardian.
The Colonel thought Peter was a complete sissy, Mr. Rumpole. The boy didn't give a toss for military history. He was more interested in ballet dancing.
Young Peter, it appears, had ambitions to enter a school of dance.
Oh, you should have heard Colonel Ollard on the subject.
Yes, I can well imagine. Mr. Pontefract, just remind me of the story. I asked to be reminded because, owing to the pressure of a rather enjoyable little murder, I hadn't read the papers.
Colonel and Percival Ollard were both wealthy men. Percival Ollard started a firm known as Ollard's Kitchen Utensils, which prospered exceedingly. During the last 5 years, the brothers never met, and Colonel Ollard, who was an invalid...
It was his heart let him die, Mr. Rumpole, his poor old ticker.
Colonel Ollard was nursed devotedly by Miss Beasley at her nursing home.
He was a real old sport, was the Colonel. Often had my incurable ladies in a roar. Quite a schoolboy at heart, Mr. Rumpole.
When the Colonel died, all we could find was the will he made in 1970, under which his estate would be inherited by his brother Percival, his sister-in-law Marcia, and his nephew Peter.
The ballet dancer.
Exactly.
In equal shares, after a small legacy to an old batsman.
Of course there will be forgery.
But I thought you said it was a fraud.
A fraud and a forgery.
Concocted by the Percival Ollards. I begin to scent conspiracy. Yes, I see it all. You know... Even though it's only a probate action, I do detect a comforting smell of crime about this case. Tell me, Miss Beasley.
Yes?
Where do you think the Colonel should have left? How much was it, did you say, Mr. Pontefract?
With the value of the Pines when we sell it, I would say something over £500,000, Mr. Rumpole.
Well, £500,000 nicker. A crock of gold that might even tempt Rumpole into the dreaded precincts of the Chancery Division. Miss Beasley, where do you think that the late Colonel should have deposited the boodle when he departed this life?
Well, of course, no doubt about it. To the person who looked after him in his declining years.
Ah, to your good self. I was beginning to get the drift of this consultation.
Exactly.
What I have told Miss Beasley is she has no locus standi.
Has she not?
Miss Beasley is in no way related to the late Colonel.
In absolutely no way.
Miss Beasley insisted we saw you, Mr. Rumpole. But you've only confirmed my own views. Legally, we haven't got a leg to stand on.
Well, we'll jolly well have to find one, won't we, Mr. Rumpole? I won't keep you any longer. I'll be in touch just as soon as we find that leg you're looking for.
The matron stood up in a businesslike way. I felt as though I'd been ordered a couple of tranquilizers and a blanket bath, and not to fuss because she'd be round the doctor in the morning. Oh, just one thing, Miss Beasley.
Yes.
You say the late Colonel recommended me as a sound legal advisor.
He did indeed. He was mentioning your name only last week.
Last week?
Mm-hmm.
But, Miss Beasley, I understand that Colonel Ollard departed this life almost 6 months ago.
Oh, yes, Mr. Rumpole. That's when he died, not when he was speaking to me. Oh, you want to watch that cold, Mr. Rumpole? It could turn into something nasty.
Rumpole, that's the third time you've taken your temperature this evening. Well, what is it?
It's sunk down to normal, Hilda. I must be fading away.
Well, I hope you'll stay in the warm tomorrow.
I can't do that. I've got to get down to the Bailey. The jury are coming back in my murder tomorrow. I'd better be in at the day.
That's what you will be in at. If you must go traipsing down to the Old Bailey, don't expect me to feel sorry for you.
Oh, of course not, Hilda. I'd never expect that. Oh, blast.
Hello?
Hello? Is that Mr. Rumpole's residence?
Yes? This is Mrs. Rumpole.
Oh, this is Rosemary Beasley. I'd like to speak to Mr. Rumpole, please.
Well, he seems to be at his last gasp. It's you, Rumpole. Rosemary Beasley.
Oh, God. Hello, Miss Beasley. Horace Rumpole here. What can I do for you?
Mr. Rumpole, I am sitting here at my planchette.
At your what?
Sometimes I use the board or the wineglass or the cards. Sometimes I have direct communication.
Oh, that must be nice for you, Miss Beasley. What are you talking about?
Tonight I'm at the planchette. I've just had such a nice chat with Colonel Ollard.
With the late Colonel Ollard?
It wasn't late at all. He came through bang on time. It was just 9 o'clock when we started chatting. He says the weather over there's absolutely beautiful. It's just not fair, I told him, when we're going through this dreary cold spell.
Miss Beasley, did Colonel Ollard come over from the dead, as I understand it, simply to chatter to you about the weather?
Oh, no, Mr. Rumpole, I shouldn't be telephoning you if that were all. He said something far more important.
Oh, did he? And can you let me into the secret?
He said that Mr. Pontefract had never looked in the tin box where he kept his dress uniform in the loft of the Pines.
Well, suppose Mr. Pontefract never has.
And if he did, the Colonel told me he would find, wrapped in tissue paper between the sword and the trousers, a later will signed by Colonel Ollard.
It was just as she told us, Mr. Rumpole. There was a tin box under a pile of old blankets in the loft at the Pines, which we'd overlooked. In it was the full-dress uniform of a colonel of the Royal Dorset.
And between the sword and the trousers?
A will, apparently duly executed, dated the 1st of March 1974.
Over 4 years after the other will in favour of the Percy Ollard.
Exactly. It revokes all previous wills and leaves his entire estate to
Miss Rosemary Beasley.
You've guessed it, Mr. Rumpole.
It didn't need great powers of divination. Well, I know you're accustomed to polite civil law, and my mind turns as naturally to crime as a vicar's daughter does to sex, but...
You suspect this will may be a forgery?
That thought had crossed your mind also.
Of course, Mr. Rumpole. There's no field of endeavour in which human nature sinks to a lower depth than in the matter of wills. Your average Old Bailey case, Mr. Rumpole, must seem like a day out with the church brigade compared to the skullduggery which surrounds the simplest last will and testament.
I began to warm to this man, Pontefract.
Naturally, my first thought was that our client, Miss Beasley, had invented this supernatural conversation in order to direct our attention to a will which she had, shall we say, manufactured.
A neutral term, Mr. Pontefract. That was my first thought also.
So I had the precaution of having this newfound will examined by a well-known handwriting expert. It is undoubtedly the genuine signature of the late colonel. The Percival Ollards are attacking this second will, however.
On the grounds of fraud?
Improperly obtained while the deceased was of unsound mind. As I told you, human nature sinks to an astonishing depth in will cases.
Mr. Pontefract, a terrible thought occurs to me.
Yes, Mr. Rumpole.
Will the deceased gentleman be giving us any more directions as to the conduct of this probate action from beyond the grave before we arrive in the Chancery Division? Rum sort of place, the Chancery Division, full of dusty old men breaking trusts and elegant young men winding up companies. They speak a different language entirely in the Chancery Division, and their will cases are full of dependent relatives' revocation and testamentary capacity and the nice construction of the word money. As I rose to my hind legs in the Court of Chancery, I felt like some rustic reveller who's blundered into a convocation of bishops engaged in silent prayer.
May it please you, my lord. In this case, I appear for the plaintiff, Miss Rosemary Beasley, who is putting forward the last will of a fine old soldier, Colonel Allard. The defendants, Mr. and Mrs. Percival Allard and Master Peter Allard, are represented by my learned friend, Mr. Guthrie Featherstone, QC. It was true. The smooth-talking and diplomatic head of our chambers had collared the brief against Rumpole. Never at home in the rough and tumble of a nice murder, I thought that the Chancery Division was just the place for Guthrie Featherstone, QC.MB. My lord, my client, Miss Beasley, is the matron and presiding angel of a small nursing home on the Sussex coast. There, she devotedly nursed this retired warrior, Colonel Allard, and was the comfort and cheer of his declining years. Mr. Justice Venables, the Chancery Judge, was giving a chill stare over the top of his half-glasses. Here was a judge who appeared to be distinctly unmoved by the Rumpole oratory. Declining years during which his only brother Percival, and Percival's wife Marcia, never troubled to cross the door of the home to give 5 minutes of cheer to the old gentleman. And Master Peter Allard was far too busy cashing the postal orders the Colonel sent him to even send a Christmas card to his elderly uncle. Oh, blow, blow, thou winter wild, thou art not so unkind as man's ingratitude.
Mr. Rumpole?
My lord?
I think perhaps you need reminding that the jury box is empty.
I looked at it. His Chancery Lordship was right. The 12 puzzled and honest citizens picked off the street at random were conspicuous by their absence. This was one of those occasions strange to Rumpole, a trial by judge alone.
It is therefore, Mr. Rumpole, not an occasion for emotional appeals. Perhaps it would be more useful if you gave me some relevant dates and a comparison of the two wills.
Yes, certainly, my lord. By his true last will of the 1st of March, 1974, the late Colonel recognized the care of a devoted matron.
Just the facts, Mr. Rumpole. Just give me the plain facts.
And the plain fact is, under the previous will of the 15th of February 1970, the Percival Allards had managed to scoop the pool. And finally, matron, what did you think of the deceased?
He had his little ways, of course, but he was always a perfect gentleman.
And what did you call each other, for instance?
It was always Matron and Colonel Allard.
Yes. Miss Beasley, during the time that Colonel Allard was with you, did Mr. Percival Allard visit him at all?
I think he came over once or twice in the first couple of weeks. Once he took the Colonel for a run on the Downs, I think, and a tea out.
But after that?
Oh, no, he never came at all.
And his family, his wife Marcia and the young Nijinsky?
The young what, Mr. Rumpole?
Master Peter Allard, my lord, a lad with a taste for the ballet.
Oh, no, I never saw them at all.
Yes. Thank you. Just wait there a moment, will you, Miss Beasley?
Miss Beasley, you say that Colonel Allard had his little ways.
Yeah, he did, yes.
For breakfast, for example, did the Colonel dislike rashers of bacon which were more than exactly 4 inches long?
He disliked a lot of things, Mr. Featherstone, including young boys who indulged in ballet lessons.
Just answer the questions, Miss Beasley. Try not to score points off the other side.
Oh, dear. I don't think his lordship is exactly warm to matey.
And did he measure his bacon to make sure it was the correct length?
Seems a perfectly reasonable thing to do.
Did you say something, Mr. Rumpole?
I just wondered, my lord. Does the fact that a man measures his bacon mean that he's not entitled to dispose of his property exactly as he likes?
Mr. Rumpole, your turn will come later. Mr. Guthrie Featherstone is cross-examining. In the Chancery Division, we consider it improper to interrupt a cross-examination unless there's a good reason to do so.
If your lordship pleases. As a rank outsider, I am, of course, delighted to get your lordship's instructions on the mysteries of the Chancery Division. I suppose his lordship thinks that down the Old Bailey we interrupt opponents by winking at the jury and singing sea shanties.
Let me ask you something else, Matron. Colonel Allard had fought, had he not, at the Battle of Anzio?
And that was where he won his military cross.
And did he tell you that he had frequently discussed the Battle of Anzio with the Prime Minister?
The late Sir Winston Churchill?
I know that Sir Winston was always interested in Colonel Ollard's view of the war, yes.
And that he had also discussed it with Field Marshal Lord Montgomery of Albany.
Colonel Ollard called him Bernard.
Oh, really? And with the then Soviet leader, Mr. Stalin. Did Colonel Ollard call him Joseph?
No, he always called him Mr. Stalin.
Very respectful, if I may say so.
Oh, please, Featherstone, don't try and make her funny.
You know he told a nurse one morning last October that he had been talking to Sir Winston, Lord Montgomery, and Mr. Stalin the evening before. Does that surprise you?
No.
Miss Beasley, you say it doesn't surprise you?
Not in the least, my lord.
Oh, come on, Judge, don't interrupt the cross-examination. We don't do that sort of thing in the Chancery Division.
This nurse will also tell us that Colonel Ollard told her that he had been chatting to Alexander the Great, the Emperor Napoleon, and the late Duke of Wellington.
Well, of course he would, you know.
He would? Because he was suffering from mental instability, you mean?
Oh, of course not. The Colonel had as much mental stability as you or I, Mr. Featherstone.
Speak for yourself, Miss Beasley.
Oh, very funny, Featherstone. What a talent. You ought to go on the music halls.
So, why did you say that the Colonel would speak to those gentlemen?
Because they were all keenly interested in his subject.
Which was?
Military matters.
Military matters, yes, of course. But all the names I have mentioned, Churchill and Montgomery, Wellington and Napoleon, Stalin and Alexander the Great, they're all dead, aren't they, Matron?
Yes, indeed. But that wouldn't have worried the Colonel. He was most sympathetic to people who were ill. Being dead wouldn't have put him off at all.
But did the Colonel think he could talk to those deceased gentlemen?
Oh, yes, of course he could.
You really believe that, Miss Beasley?
Oh, dearie me. My first day out for years in the Chancery Division, and we're going down the drain.
You could talk to the Emperor Napoleon, my lord, if you were a believer.
A believer, Miss Beasley?
In communication with the other side.
And both you and Colonel Ollard were believers?
Oh, yes. We had that much in common.
Can you communicate with the late Joseph Stalin, Miss Beasley?
Of course I could. But let's just say that I wouldn't care to.
Perhaps not. But can you communicate, for instance, with the late Colonel Ollard?
Yes, indeed.
When did you last do so, Miss Beasley?
Yesterday evening, my lord.
Oh, dear, oh, my ears and whiskers.
And I may say that the Colonel is very distressed about this case, my lord. Very distressed indeed. In fact, he thinks it's a disgraceful thing when he's made his will perfectly clear and left it in his uniform box. I wouldn't like to tell you, my lord, the things that the Colonel had to say about his brother Percy.
I think you had better not, Miss Beasley. That would be hearsay evidence. We'll have to wait and see whether my learned friend Mr. Rumpole calls the deceased gentleman as a witness.
Oh, hilarious, Featherstone. Very hilarious. My God, you're working well today. We, that is Matron, Mr. Pontefract himself, had luncheon in the crypt under the law courts in the Strand, a sepulchral place where it seemed very old place-and ships came to die. Miss Beasley's legal team were not in an optimistic mood. The judge doesn't like you all that much, I'm afraid, Miss Beasley.
Never mind, Mr. Rumpole. The feeling is entirely mutual.
If you take my advice, Miss Beasley, you should go for a settlement. Save what we can from the wreckage. You see, once you had to admit that the late Colonel used to talk to the Emperor Napoleon...
Well, what's wrong with talking to the Emperor Napoleon? He can be quite charming when he puts his mind to it.
No, Mr. Pontefract is right. The time has come to chuck in the towel on the best terms we can manage.
Oh, you mean surrender?
Well, on terms, Miss Beasley.
Colonel Ollard will never surrender. Anyway, you haven't cross-examined that wretched Percy Ollard yet. The Colonel says Mr. Rumpole's a great cross-examiner.
Well, it's very kind of
He
him,
says that he'll never forget reading your cross-examination about the bloodstains in the Penge bungalow murders. He read every word of it in the Sunday paper.
My dear lady, that was 35 years ago.
Bless you.
Anyway, I had a jury to play on in that case. I'm at my best with a jury. This is a cold-blooded trial in the Chancery Division by judge alone.
The Colonel says Mr. Rumpole will hit my brother Percy for 6.
A trial without a jury is like an operation without anesthetic. Or luncheon without a glass of wine.
Shall we drown this old fish, Pontefract? My old darling, in a sea of cooking claret. Oh, the angel of death is brushing me with his wings.
Rumpole, the doctor has told you it's only a cold.
Dr. McClintock gave me a warning on the subject of death. Oh.
Good heavens. That's never the front door bell at this time of night.
Well, it's not. It's a remarkably good imitation.
Yes?
I'm Rosemary Beasley. Is your husband in?
Well, I can see him there. I'm afraid he's in his dressing gown. He's got a bit of a chill.
A bit of a chill. I'm dying. Oh, it's you, Miss Beasley.
Well, don't die yet, Mr. Rumpole. You've got our case to win.
Don't you think I could conduct it perfectly well from beyond the grave?
Oh, now you're teasing me. Your husband's the most terrible tease, Mrs. Rumpole. Listen to this, Mr. Rumpole. The Colonel says that he has an urgent message for you. He'll deliver it here tonight, so I brought the board.
The what?
The planchette.
To my dismay, Matron then produced from a kind of black plastic hold-all a small heart-shaped board on casters, which she plonked on our dining table. There was paper fixed on the board, and as Miss Beasley held a pencil poised over it, the board began to move in a curious fashion, causing writing to appear on the paper. It seemed illegible to me, but Miss Beasley deciphered some rather cheeky communications from a late and no doubt unlamented Red Indian chief, who finally agreed to fetch Colonel Allard to the planchette. Tearing himself away from the Emperor Napoleon, the Colonel issued his orders for the day.
Hello there, Rumpole. Well, answer him, Rumpole. Be polite.
Hello there, Colonel.
It's very blue here, Rumpole. Oh, really? And I am very happy.
Oh, good.
Tomorrow you will cross-examine my brother, Percival.
Well, I hope to, but I'm not quite up to snuff.
Brace up, Rumpole. No malingering. Tomorrow you will cross-examine my brother in court.
Yes, Colonel, aye, sir.
Ask him what we said to each other when he visited me in the nursing home and he drove me up to the Downs. Ask him what the conversation was when we had cream tea together at the Bida Wee Tea Rooms. Ask that question, Rumpole. It's an order.
Mr. Percival Allard, were you on good terms with your brother before he went into the nursing home?
Extremely good terms.
And 2 weeks after he went into the nursing home, you took him for a drive on the Downs?
I did, yes.
You shared teas, scones and clotted crepe at the Bide-A-Wee Cafe?
Yes, we did.
And talked?
We talked, yes.
And after that conversation, you and your brother never met or spoke to each other again?
No, we never did.
And he made a will cutting out your family and leaving all his considerable property to my client, Miss Beasley?
He made an alleged will, Mr. Rumpole?
Oh, if that's what you called it in the Chancery Division, yes, my lord. Now, what I have to ask you, Mr. Percival Allard, is simply this. What did you and your brother say to each other at the Bide-A-Wee Cafe?
My lord, need I answer that question?
Mr. Rumpole, do you press the question?
My lord, I do.
Then it is relevant and you must answer it, Mr. Robert.
My lord...
But I see the time. You may give us your answer after luncheon, Mr. Percival Allard. Shall we say 2 o'clock?
That bloody judge let the witness off the hook.
Rumpole.
Can
I have a word? Before we go back into court.
Featherston, has your client thought of his answer?
He's thought of his answer to this case.
No, what's that?
We're chucking in the sponge. Our hands are up. We surrender. Matron can have her precious will. We offer no further evidence.
Oh, really, Featherston? You could have knocked me down with a chancery brief, but I tried to sound nonchalant. Oh, that's very satisfactory.
I say, Rumpole, a fellow must be certain of his fee
Well, let me have my costs out of the estate, won't you?
Well, I suppose so. I'd better just check.
With your client?
Oh, no, with the dear departed. As the defendants now raise no objection, I pronounce for the will of the 1st of March in favour of Miss Beasley. All parties will have their costs out of the estate.
Thanks most awfully, Mr. Rumpole. The Colonel knew you'd pull it off and fit them for 6.
Miss Beasley, may I call you Betty?
Please.
What's the truth of it? What did the brothers say to each other over the scones and Darjeeling?
How would I know, Mr. Rumpole? Only the Colonel and his brother know that.
As a matter of fact, I found out as I was walking back to Chambers with my ex-opponent Guthrie Featherstone.
No reason why you shouldn't know, Rumpole. Your client had been Percival's mistress for years.
His what?
Girlfriend.
Well, it seems odd somehow calling a stout elderly woman a girlfriend. And are you trying to tell me intimacy actually took place?
Regularly, apparently. On a Wednesday, matron's afternoon off. When the Colonel went into the home, she dived into bed with him and deserted Percival. The meeting at the tea room was when the Colonel told his brother all about it and said he meant to leave his money to Rosemary Beasley.
But why couldn't your client have told us that?
His wife, Rumpole. His wife, Marcia, she's a battle-axe, and there would have been hell to pay if she found out, so we had to settle.
Well, Featherstone, matron femme fatale. I'd never have believed it. What did I believe? That the Colonel spoke from the grave? Or the matron used him because the vital question caused her deep embarrassment? All I know is I don't fancy the idea of it over there. I shouldn't care for long chats with Colonel Allard and the Emperor Napoleon, even if Joseph Stalin were to be at the party. No. Dying, as far as Rumpole is concerned, has been postponed indefinitely.
That was Maurice Denham as Rumpole, Margot Boyd as Hilda, and Michael Spice as Guthrie Featherstone in The Dear Departed. Mr. Justice Venables was played by Peter Pratt, Mr. Pontefract, Preston Lockwood, Percival Allard, Martin Friend, and Rosemary Beasley, Jill Balcom. Rumpole and The Dear Departed was written by John Mortimer and directed by Ian Cottrell.
Rumpole!
The splendours and miseries of an Old Bailey hack.
Some cases of Horace Rumpole, barrister at law, as told to and written down by John Mortimer, with Maurice Denham as Rumpole and Margot Boyd as Hilda. Rumpole and the Gentle Art of Blackmail.
I will do such things. What they are, yet I know not, but they shall be the terrors of the earth. That vague menace of King Lear, of course, was absolutely hopeless as a bit of blackmail. The good blackmailer utters a threat which is short, clear, and perfectly possible. She who must be obeyed had that lesson to learn over the matter of the new chair covers.
Rumpole? We need new chair covers.
I've got to hurry breakfast. I'm afraid I'm catching a train to Oxford.
When we went to the Featherstones' sherry party, I was admiring their chintz chair covers. So jolly and springlike. I told Marigold Featherstone.
City of dreaming spires.
Oh, no.
I'm going there to study a rather jolly and spring-like little case of blackmail.
We cannot invite the Featherstones to dine here until we've got new chair covers, Rumpole. Our old chair covers would simply let us down.
Oh, I don't know. They've held me up for a good many years.
Merely Rumpole.
But the charge is blackmail, demanding money with menaces,
within the sacred precincts of St. Joseph's College.
Oh.
My old college, Hilda.
Rumpole, I'm giving you fair warning. If you don't give me the money for new chair covers to brighten up our living room, I'll...
What will you do, Hilda?
I haven't thought yet. But I'll take a most serious view, I promise you that.
You see what I mean. She and old King Lear had a lot to learn in the gentle art of blackmail. No doubt they could have profited by lessons from the client I was about to see languishing in Oxford prison. Oxford. How long was it since I'd taken the train from Paddington to go up to St. Joseph's for the study of law? A subject which, I may say, never interested me greatly either then or now. Blood stains and handwriting, certainly. The art of cross-examination, of course. Winning a jury, fascinating, but law. The only honourable way to pass a law exam is to make a few notes on your cuff and study them during frequent visits to the box. Oxford. And the eye travels down to Oxford's towers. Marvellous view you get of coal heaps round the canal.
It's never Horace Rumpole.
Huh? Well, it is sometimes.
You remember me, don't you, Rumpole? P.J. Fosdyke. Fozzie Fosdyke.
Fozzie?
We grew up at St. Joseph's together.
In the year dot.
Rumpole. What are you doing in Oxford?
Oh, bit of legal business.
You have to hurry back. Come for a drink at the old Coal. Or something to eat. We dine early.
Oh.
Mr. Rumpole.
I'm a fellow then, you know. Tutor in modern history.
I'm Sue Galton, Mr. Rumpole.
Oh, yes?
From your instructing solicitors in the Vernon case.
Ah. This is P.J. Fosdyke. We were up at Oxford together in the year dot. Miss Sue...
Galton.
Very nice, too. Mrs. Galton must brighten up your work considerably, Rumpole.
Well, come on, Mr. Rumpole. I've got a taxi to take you to the prison.
Just to recap, Miss Galton, I have, of course, read the papers.
Peter Vernon worked as a gardener, a general handyman at St. Joseph's. Although he got a couple of A-levels and he's pretty bright, he just couldn't find a job to suit him.
Well, it can't be a bad job, though, mowing the croquet lawn, planting out snapdragons.
Peter quite enjoyed it.
Peter? Was this just contemporary solicitors' talk, or did it, I wonder, show a higher degree of intimacy with the accused?
Peter was really happy at St. Joseph's until the business with Sir Alan started.
I know. Sir Alan Tufnell, Professor of Moral Philosophy. Always ready and willing when they need a brain for the telly or any questions. Been principal of St. Joseph's, so far as I can remember, for the past 5 years.
Yes, that's him. Mr. Rumpole, before we get to the prison, there's something I ought to tell you. Peter's not in the least gay.
Well, I'm sure he isn't. Not stuck in Oxford jail for the past 6 months on a nasty charge of blackmail.
No, you don't understand.
Oh, tell me.
Peter's just not queer. He's not homosexual. You see, I can guarantee that. Personally.
Can you, Miss Galton?
Yes. Peter's my boyfriend. We're going to be married when you get him off. Here we are at the prison.
This, I must say, was an added complication. If I lost the case, as from a brief glance at the paper seemed a highly probable result, I shouldn't only have an aggrieved client, but a broken-hearted solicitor on my hands. Moreover, I didn't see how I could question the fiancé without some embarrassment. Now, what was alleged against him was that he'd had a considerably more than friendly relationship with Sir Alan. He then extracted various cheques, sums of cash, and a handsome engraved gold cigarette case from Sir Alan, as a price of not publishing the full and passionate details in the University Gazette.
Peter Vernon.
Hello, Mr. Rumpole. It's kind of you to come all this way. I know you're busy.
I got you some cigarettes, Peter.
Oh, thanks, Sue.
How are things in the Oxford Nick?
Well, it's not the senior common room at St. Joseph's, but it's not so bad, I suppose. There's one or two decent screws, blokes you can talk to. You haven't been worrying, have you, Sue?
What do you think?
Well, you're not to worry. We'll be all right. Now we've got Mr. Rumpole. Sue told me you were marvellous at getting criminals off.
Really? Well, she's too kind.
Well, you may have a bit more trouble with me.
That's why.
Well, I suppose my problem is, I'm not a criminal.
I looked at Peter Vernon. He was, I suppose, about 21 years old.
To say he was a good-looking boy is an understatement. You can see faces like his on Greek statues and Florentine paintings. He had a look of trust and vague uncertainty. But what was the most disturbing thing from the point of view of an old hack advocate about to undertake his defense? He looked innocent. I started a difficult interview cautiously. Well, now, Peter, how long did you work at St. Joseph's?
About 6 months.
You met Sir Alan soon after you started?
Yes. He came out to me in the garden one afternoon. He was very charming.
Do you remember what he said?
Well, I do, as a matter of fact. He said, "Such was that happy garden state when man first walked without a mate."
Andrew Marvel.
And I said, "After a place so pure and sweet, what other help could yet be meet?" He seemed surprised I knew the poem.
And then?
He used to come out and see me, if I was alone in the garden. Sometimes he'd bring me a glass of sherry or a packet of fags. We'd talk.
About?
All sorts of things. Music.
Peter loves music.
And opera. He told me opera was another world. I'd never seen one. He said I was like Siegfried. Wagner's Siegfried. Then one day he asked me if I'd like to come up to London to go to Covent Garden with him. We had dinner at his club.
Where?
Somewhere in St. James's. The food was terrible. You'd do better off in a bistro in Oxford. Then we went off to Covent Garden.
Did you come back to Oxford that night?
Sir Alan drove me back, yes.
And then? My instructing solicitor was looking at him and holding her breath.
I've got a room near the station. He dropped me off there, and then, I suppose he drove back to the college.
And after that?
We went to dinner in London once or twice. Oh, and I had tea with him in his rooms a few times.
And that's all?
Yes, that's all.
What's the time? Oh, damn. Miss Galton, I meant to phone my clerk.
You can do that from the office when we get back.
No, he'll be gone then, I'm afraid. Look, you couldn't ask them if you could make a call at the gate, could you? Just ring my chambers and say I'll be free for the breathalyzer case at Chelmsford tomorrow. There's a good girl. Do you want 10, please?
I think we can stand you a phone call, if you're going to get Peter off.
Officer, this young lady wants to make a phone call.
Oh, right, sir. If you'd like to follow me, miss.
I can't get you off, you know, unless you tell the truth.
Pity.
Yes, it's a pity. And if you don't tell the truth about you and Sir Alan, the jury will never believe you about the blackmail.
I don't want Sue to know.
Well, she'll have to hear it sometime. Look, what do you think? Would Miss Galton rather have a free man who's had a few queer experiences, or wait for 4 years for a convicted blackmailer? Anyway, there's no defense unless you did it. Now, you did it and he gave you presents for it. Isn't that the story?
It happened that first night, after Siegfried. I suppose I did it out of politeness. You know, the way you taught to say thank you after a children's party.
You didn't care for him.
Oh, it wasn't him at all. It was his whole world. The way he talked and the music he played me. And even that freezing old club with the Regency paintings and the rotten food. I was grateful to him for showing me all that. The rest didn't seem terribly important.
He gave you money?
Yes. Checks a few times. He must have been mad to do that, mustn't he?
Yes, and you were mad to pay them into your bank account. Now, you were both doing your best to help the prosecution. You were under 21 then, weren't you?
Yes, 20 and a bit.
Did it occur to you it was a crime?
Was it?
Yes, it's something you're not allowed to do until you're 21 by the wisdom of Parliament. Why did you keep the money?
I just kept it.
And the cigarette case?
Yes, that was the last thing he gave me. I kept it all because, well, I knew Sue and I were going to get married. We had a lot to save up for.
It was, I suppose, an unusual sort of way to furnish a bottom drawer, but oddly enough, he made it sound completely natural.
I phoned you, Chambers. They didn't seem to think you had a case tomorrow.
Oh, didn't they? How strange. Well, I'm always the last to hear. Now, I must go and take a look at my old college.
Thank you for coming to see me, Mr. Rumpole.
I'll give you a piece of advice which would be fatal to most of my clients. For God's sake, tell the truth. If there are any lies to be told, leave them to the professor of moral philosophy. He might well be better at it.
Fosdyke, I thought we were going to have a quiet drink in your rooms. I really can't dine at your high table. It would be most embarrassing.
Of course you can. The food's not bad at all. You'd like to meet Humphrey Grice. He's our senior law tutor. This is my friend Rumpole, Humphrey.
How do you do?
He's known as Rumpole of the Old Bailey.
Really? How amusing.
Oh, and this is our principal, Sir Alan Tufnell, my friend Rumpole of the Old Bailey.
How are you, Rumpole?
How do you do?
I hope you're dining with us. Gulls' eggs tonight, isn't it, Humphrey? We usually have gulls' eggs on the first Thursday in Lent, and we make ourselves stop at 3.
Sir Alan, could I have a word?
Fasting is a state of mind. I do believe that. Yes, what is it, Rumpole?
Well, Fosdyke invited me to dinner, but I should tell you that I'm appearing for young Peter Vernon on a blackmail charge.
Oh, good. Do your best for him, won't you? I feel genuinely sorry for the lad.
But it's no doubt embarrassing for you, Sir Alan, having me here.
Embarrassing? Why should it be? We shall be drinking some rather seductive Sancerre, the eggs I was telling you about. And of course, Rumpole, we won't talk shop.
For the first, and I hope the last time, I sat down to dine with a major prosecution witness a week or two before a criminal trial. But Sir Alan was consistently charming to everyone. When we retired to the senior common room, the talk was brought round by Grice to what I thought was an uncomfortable subject.
Interesting piece on Sir Charles Dilke in Historical, Fosdyke. Tell me, do you think Dilke might have made a great Liberal Prime Minister if he hadn't been caught out by his sexual indiscretions?
Dilke was an extraordinary talent. You know, Keir Hardie invited him to lead the Independent Labour Party.
Humphrey Grice probably finds that far more shocking than hopping into bed with a couple of ladies at once. What is a scandal, if I may ask the rhetorical question? A scandal is a secret that gets found out. It's a subject for lies and cover-ups. If you don't lie, if you don't try and conceal, then there's no scandal. Take Watergate.
Oh, really, Principal, do we have to?
A tragedy, in my opinion. Those two complacent little scribblers got rid of America's only competent president.
Exactly. Now, who'd have given tuppence about Watergate if Nixon had told the truth about it? What was it? Trivial bit of housebreaking. Almost a student prank. It became a scandal because of the lies. The moral is, if you want to kill a scandal, tell the truth.
Is that what you intend to do, Principal?
Since you have the bad taste to ask the question, Humphrey, after dinner and in the presence of a guest, the answer is unquestionably yes.
As he said this, the principal gave me a glowing smile and an invitation to put up for the night in a college guest room. The next morning, I had a leisurely breakfast with Fosdyke and then wandered through the town to land up breathing in the dust and powdered leather of a second-hand bookshop. There I propped myself up to read a tattered volume of memories by some dead legal hack, recalling life on the old southeastern circuit, when no case seemed to last more than a day, and most ended with the black cap at twilight.
You do actually read books, then? Your life isn't entirely practical.
It was Humphrey Grice, the academic lawyer, crept out of his lair on a shopping spree. He gave me a wintry smile.
I say, a bit of cheek you're turning up to dinner with the principal. Fosdyke tells me you're defending young Vernon.
Well, I'm afraid I got trapped. It was most embarrassing.
Not at all. Tufnell needs reminding. The case isn't far off.
Grice smiled in a way I can only describe as ghoulish. He seemed to relish the idea of my playing Banquo's ghost at Sir Alan's dinner table.
I don't think he realizes just how serious it is.
What, for my client?
Oh, no. For the principal's career. There's no possible doubt, you know, that he's guilty.
My client?
Sir Alan Tufnell. The relationship was definitely physical. Oh, yes. James, the porter, distinctly saw the boy Vernon coming out of the principal's lodgings at dawn.
Well, I came out of Founders Buildings, which houses P.J. Fosdyke, but I hope no one thinks that relationship is definitely physical.
I just thought that someone should see that the truth came out at the trial. What do you think, Rumpole?
I think, if I may say so, Grice, that your interest in the law doesn't appear to be entirely academic. Waiting on the station on my way back to London, I telephoned Miss Galton. Oh, just remind me, what was the date Sir Alan went to the police and complained of Vernon blackmailing him?
November the 1st, last year.
And what are the dates on the check?
August, September, and one in October.
Last year?
Yes.
All before the principal went to the police?
Before, yes.
Listen, I want you to find out where he bought the gold cigarette case. Get a photograph of it or something. Go round Oxford Jewellers.
But when I came back to the trial a couple of weeks later, Miss Colton had drawn a blank at the Oxford Jewellers. I sent her up to London. I had an idea that Sir Alan might have bought the case when he stayed at his club in St. James's. It seemed a forlorn hope, and she hadn't returned the next morning when I sat gloomily in court, listening to my learned friend for the Crown opening the prosecution case.
Members of the jury, we may be able to forgive some forms of criminal activity, but not blackmail, which is the meanest form of crime. It's a slow poison which feeds on its victims' fears. And, of course, members of the jury, the higher position a man reaches in his public life, the more he's got to lose. And no one is in a more vulnerable position than the distinguished head of a great Oxford college. A man like Sir Alan Tufnell, whom you probably all know well from your television screens.
Bernard Crompton was my contemporary, a member of the old Oxford circuit. He was a dangerous prosecutor. He knew how to speak to the jury as if he was one of them.
But the mere fact that blackmail is a crime which we all hate and despise mustn't make you more ready to assume that this young man, Peter Vernon, is guilty. If you're in any doubt about it at the end of the day, say, not guilty.
He was also the most dangerous sort of prosecutor. He was fair. That was the way he got convictions. Oh, Miss Colton, any luck?
Yes, I found the jeweler finally. In the Burlington Arcade. I'd be upstairs to get a witness summons.
But tell me the date he bought it, for God's sake. She told me.
I will now call Sir Alan Tufnell.
I swear by Almighty God that the evidence which I shall give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Sir Alan, you understand that in blackmail cases the victim can remain anonymous and merely be referred to as Mr. X. I will direct the reporters in court to refer to you in that way.
My Lord, I am extremely grateful.
I bet you are. No chance of poor old Peter Vernon being called Mr. X, however.
Sir Alan, you are the principal of St. Joseph's College.
I am.
You are the Oxford Professor of Moral Philosophy and a Fellow of the Royal Society and a Companion of Honour.
Yes, I am.
When did you get to know the defendant, Vernon?
About 18 months ago, my Lord, when he came to us as an under gardener and general handyman.
Did you have any relationship with him other than as a college servant?
I think he became a friend. I hope all college servants are my friends.
Did you offer him any particular form of friendship?
I found that he was a very intelligent young man, with genuine, if unformed, musical tastes. He had done well at school, but his parents had opposed him going on to higher education. I thought he might be feeling jealous of the young men of his age who were enjoying academic life at St. Joseph's.
So
I invited him to my rooms. We talked.
About what?
About music, about philosophy. I tried to have the sort of discussion with him that I would normally have with an undergraduate.
Did he ever stay the night in your lodgings?
Once or twice, when we were talking late. I put him up in my spare bedroom.
And did you go to London together?
Again, I think it was once or twice. I took him to Covent Garden and dinner at my club.
Did your friendship continue happily?
I'm afraid it didn't.
What happened?
One day, Peter Vernon came to me in the garden and said that if I didn't give him money, he would write round to all my colleagues at St. Joseph's and tell them that we had been sleeping together.
And had you?
Certainly not.
How did you react?
I'm afraid foolishly. I knew I was innocent of what he was suggesting, but I was afraid of the scandal.
So you gave him the cheques, which we have seen?
Yes, and sometimes cash.
Amounting to some £600, and the gold cigarette case, which was how much?
I think that was 500, my lord.
And then?
Then I began to think about it, and realized that if I went on paying Vernon, he would blackmail me forever. I decided that I must face up to the possibility of scandal and go to the police.
I'm sure we all realize that required considerable courage, Sir Alan.
Oh, come on, Judge. You're going to give him his VC now or later?
Yes. Thank you, Sir Alan. Just wait there, will you, in case my learned friend has any questions?
Just a few. Sir Alan,
Tufnell.
Yes, Mr. Rumpole.
In your book, Morality and Modern Man, you said something to this effect. Modern man will do good and tell the truth for its own sake, and not out of fear or respect for a possibly non-existent deity.
I did, yes.
And yet you began your evidence by swearing on the Bible.
Yes?
Why didn't you affirm, if you don't believe?
Mr. Rumpole, I said God was possibly non-existent. That means I have to recognize that he possibly exists.
And on that outside chance you took the oath as you did.
Mr. Rumpole, are you criticizing Sir Alan for taking the oath in the usual fashion?
No, my lord. I am criticizing Sir Alan for trying to present himself to this jury as something other than he is. You're lying about yourself, are you not?
Perhaps you could make clear what you mean.
The truth is that you and this young man were lovers.
No.
And as a lover, you gave him presents from time to time.
Is that what they were?
Oh, certainly that's what they were. The sort of expensive presents another man might give his mistress.
I have no idea what a man might give to his mistress.
I expect you haven't. You never married, Sir Alan?
No. I have been denied that happiness.
Well, I suppose some of us might say you've been exceptionally lucky. So you have no one else to give presents to?
It's true that I have no immediate family.
No one but young Peter Vernon.
I have already told the court why I gave him that money.
Because you were afraid of being accused of something you hadn't done.
Exactly.
And you knew that Mr. Humphrey Grice, your senior tutor in academic law, would use any scandal to have you dismissed as principal because he coveted your place.
That was something I did have in mind, yes.
And you were particularly fearful because you knew the charge was true.
No.
Sir Alan, we've heard my learned friend in his opening speech tell us the date when you went to the police to make this charge of alleged blackmail.
Yes.
It was November the 1st, was it not, of last year?
I believe so, yes.
Oh, you can take the date from me. The police did nothing for well over a month.
No, they were making inquiries. At Vernon's bank, for instance.
Exactly so. And during that time, you gave Vernon this gold cigarette case.
No.
No?
I'm sure. That can't be right.
It can't be right if you're telling the truth, can it? You wouldn't decide to put an end to the blackmailing by complaining to the police and then spend £500 on a gold cigarette case for Peter Vernon.
No, certainly not.
Oh, but you see, that's exactly what you did, Sir Alan. I will be calling evidence to prove that you bought this case on the 5th of December last year at a jeweller's in Burlington Arcade near your club, and gave it to Peter Vernon as a Christmas present.
What date was that, Mr. Rumpole?
The 5th of December, my lord.
Why should I do that, Mr. Rumpole?
I'll tell you, Sir Alan. Because you wanted to frame Peter Vernon on a blackmail charge.
Frame him?
Oh, yes. You wanted to make sure that Peter Vernon wasn't going to be believed if he ever told the truth. You knew that Grice was onto your trail like an old bloodhound. And you also knew Peter was planning to get married to a young lady solicitor. You didn't know him very well, did you? You thought he'd start talking about your nights at the opera.
But I'd already given him the checks.
Presents that could be used to get Peter Vernon arrested and have him convicted as a criminal whom no one could believe. Oh, you might have got away with it, Sir Alan, if you hadn't wanted to add one final bit of evidence. The gold cigarette case that you bought him in London after you'd gone to the police. Members of the jury, blackmail, and here I agree with every word that my learned friend Mr. Bernard Crompton said to you on behalf of the Crown, is really one of the meanest forms of crime. And blackmail, when it means planting false evidence on an innocent man, so that you can have him convicted of an offence that he has never committed, so that you can gain the advantage of being safe from scandal, must be the meanest crime of all. Who was the blackmailer in this case, members of the jury? Was it the young man in the dock? Or the older man in the witness box? Who is lying about whom? Ask yourself that question, and remember that the answer is a gold cigarette case, bought to bolster up a false charge, and bought after Sir Alan had complained to the police.
I saw them only for a moment when the case was over. Peter Vernon came out blinking into the sunlight, surprised to be free. And Sue was surprised only that he'd never told her. They went away, I suppose, to flog the cigarette case and buy wallpaper, saucepan scours, lino tiles, acres of vim, and other household and domestic articles. And then I saw Sir Alan getting into a taxi. He smiled goodbye at me, I thought very charmingly. He resigned a little while after as principal of St. Joseph's College, a job Humphrey Grice doesn't do as well, and they say the food at high table has deteriorated. Sir Alan has just presented a hugely successful teleseries on Man, the Moral Animal. I caught the train back to London, and came, as most men deem, to little good, but came to Oxford and my friends no more.
Hilda, what is it?
It's an estimate, Rumpole, for redecorating the flat.
Well, why should we want the flat redecorated?
Well, to brighten it up, of course. If you'd agreed to buy new chair covers, it wouldn't be necessary.
That was a decent bit of blackmail, clear and open, and, of course, quite effective. All right, then, Hilda. Chair covers it is.
That was Maurice Denham as Rumpole and Margot Boyd as Hilda in The Gentle Art of Blackmail. The judge was played by Brian Sanders, Bernard Crompton, Geoffrey Belden, Sue Galton, Emily Richard, Sir Alan Tufnell, Trevor Baxter, Humphrey Grice, Gerald Cross, P.J. Fosdyke, Alan Dudley, and Peter Vernon, Nigel Greaves. Rumpole and The Gentle Art of Blackmail was written by John Mortimer and directed by Ian Cottrell.